I was raised in a Christian family. My dad was actually a minister. He got ordained in 1985. Grew up in a tight-knit family. Went to church like 3 or 4 days a week. Preacher's kid, 18 years in a row, always in church. And one thing that I've definitely learned from church is you got to have faith. And a lot of times whenever you hear things in church, some people don't never really get a chance to actually practice those things. I was about 12 years old when my mom got diagnosed with cancer the first time. She had breast cancer. She went in to the doctor to get checked out, and they actually only gave her 6 months to live. So at 12 years old, I was very, very lost. And seeing my mom go through chemotherapy, I remember watching my dad had to shave my mom's hair. That was really, really detrimental as a kid. She went in for a checkup when they gave her 6 months to live, probably about 3 months into the process. And the doctors came back and they're scratching their head. They're like, I don't know what happened. There's no medical explanation for this, but you have no trace of cancer in your body. Obviously, we were very, very happy with that. But in 2011 is when things kind of changed again. My mom went in for a routine check because probably a year before 2011, she was experiencing pain, but the doctor kept telling her it was a sciatic nerve. So they would give her shots in her back to help her with that, and it would kind of go away. But sometimes she was in, severe pain. So she wanted to get a second opinion, and it turned out that she had cancer again. And it came back in her lower back, and it was pushing against her spine. But the doctors gave us hope. They said that that was a slow-acting cancer. Typically, people that have this type of cancer can, minimal 10 years, sometimes can live with it for the rest of their life, with, just being treatment and stuff. So we're kind of optimistic about everything. My mom actually had to move in with my older brother because, she was in a lot of pain. And I remember going over there and she would be crying like all night long, man, just moaning and in pain. And she never complained once, and she always kept the faith, and she always told us, baby, it's gonna be okay. I trust God, whatever happens, God's in control. I remember my brother called me and said that they were taking my mom to the hospital because they couldn't wake her up. She was unresponsive. And you might want to get over there because it's kind of serious. And about 2 or 3 days, she didn't wake up. But by the grace of God, on the 4th day, she was awake. And I remember coming there, seeing her, and when I saw her, she lit up, when she saw me. And I felt that warmth. And I gave her a hug, and she couldn't talk because she had a lot of tubes in her mouth. And I'll never forget this. And I told her, I said, Mama, it's going to be okay. I'm praying for you. God's going to deliver you. And now looking back at it, she kind of gave me that look like, just be prepared, She was in ICU for about 10 days. And on the 10th day, the doctor told us we need to come up there and kind of had that talk with us and saying that, unfortunately, your mom's organs are failing her. And at this point, you're actually kind of doing her a disservice by keeping her on the life support. She was on life support. My dad was strong through this whole process, man. I was kind of really surprised how strong he was. So we all went back to the hospital. He was like, on Sunday, we're going to step out in faith. We're going to have Bible study, but we're going to take your mom off the breathing life support, and if it's in God's will, He'll save her. So Sunday we went there, and we were it was everybody in the room. We played like 3 or 4 gospel songs, and my dad prayed. He read a couple scriptures, and the nurse came in, took her off took her off life support. I literally watched my mom take her last breath, and she passed away, and took her last breath in front of us, and that was pretty rough, man. Because my mom was my best friend, and to see her, flatline, it was pretty bad. I remember that feeling I felt. I was like, life would never be the same, and I felt like, part of me died when my mom passed away. So My younger brother drove my dad to my older brother's house. We all went there, gave my dad a hug and asked him if he's okay. He said, I'm fine. I love you guys. I'll be okay. So we all went to my little brother's house, and he just moved into a house. He had a pool. So we were kind of we're out there just sitting there talking about good old times. And we stayed up till about, it had to have been 6 o'clock in the morning. So that was about 6 o'clock. And about 7:30, my wife said, Brandon, there's a text. And I'm like, text from who? Like, your dad sent a text. My dad sent me this long text, and he was saying, me and your mother are one. We raised you kids to be self-sufficient. I've given you everything I had in life. I'm not worried about you guys. You'll be fine. And he was saying stuff like that. And so we were like, okay, let's just go over there to see if we can talk to him. He's obviously going to something. So me and my wife drove to my brother's house. We kind of knocked on my brother's door. And I guess he was still sleeping because we had to bang on his door, and he finally opened the door. He's like, what's going on? What's going on? I said, did you get the text? He said, what text? I said, from Daddy. He said, Daddy's in the room. He said he read the text, and he realized that my dad was in the room. So we started looking around the house, because this time my dad takes walks. He had, reads the Bible. He gets deep into prayer. So we didn't find him around the house. And so we walk around the home. And I remember my sister-in-law went into the backyard, and it's something that I'll never forget. And I heard her scream. So we go back in the backyard, and what I saw next is something that I never wish on anybody, man. I saw my dad sitting in the chair. He had shot himself in the head and took his own life, That moment right there was a defining moment in my life, for the simple fact that God was like, you have two ways you can go. I know how you're feeling, and I know what the enemy wants for you, but I'm just asking you to seek me. So I started going to the gym, and I started finding comfort in the gym. I ran into a guy named Jason. He was working out at the same gym. He was like, you have a pretty good physique. You ever think about competing? And I was like, I always admired, Jay Cutler's, Ronnie Coleman, but I never knew how to get there. So he basically said that he would do my prep for free. So he prepped me for my first show, and I was getting ready for the show, had no idea what I was doing. About 2 weeks before the show, a guy named Fred Hamilton, who I'm still really good friends with now, came up to me and was like, hey man, I heard you doing the show, you look good, have you started posing? I'm like, posing? Yeah, you mean you just do like a most muscular? And he cracked up at me. He was like, dude, you haven't posed? I'm like, oh. He's like, I don't know what posing is. He's like, man, when's your show? I told him like in 12 days. He's like, man, if you don't start posing now, you're gonna be embarrassed. And we pose every single day. He helped me with my routine. He went to the show and tanned me, everything. And it turned out good. My first time ever competing on a pretty big stage, to Texas State at that time, I got second place. I fell in love with bodybuilding because bodybuilding challenges you so much, mentally, physically, and everything that comes with it. It's probably the most challenging thing that I've ever done, because at the end of the day, nobody's really watching over you, saying you gotta go do that cardio, you gotta go do that workout, you gotta stick to the diet, you can't go to Whataburger. And so many people that I know can't have that discipline. But when things did get rough, what I did is I channeled all my pain and everything that I went through with my parents, and I would just push through it. Me and my brother would go to 24-hour fitness, man, and that was a blessing to have my brother as a workout partner. I remember a guy named Bryce came up to us, and he just approached us, man. He was a very personal guy. I was like, man, this guy just came up and he's like, hey man, you guys work hard. I've been watching you guys. Do you take pre-workout? I was like, yeah, man, I kind of buy some here and there from the store. He was like, well, I've done my research. He starts talking about all this stuff, and we were intrigued by it. So he pulls out some samples right then and there. I remember he had like a little Ziploc bag with a piece of paper stapled to it. He was like, hey guys, try it out. Let me know how you like it. I'll be back, I'll see you guys all the time. Let me know what you think about it. So me and my brother tried it out, and honestly, that is the best stuff I've ever tried. I mean, as far as energy, as far as pumps, as far as stamina. Everything was like check, 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 check. Because at the time, when he started his product, there was stuff like Jack 3D out there, where you would take it and then you would crash and you feel like crap. Like, this can't be healthy, right? His products are second to none, man. That's one thing about Bryce. He could have easily just came out with 4 or 5 products, but he takes his time, which I really, really like. He takes his time, he makes sure that everything is scientifically researched. When he puts it out, when he puts his name on something, you know it's legit. And without his knowledge, I wouldn't have started Pain and Gain Fitness either. So he definitely inspired me and showed me the right way to do things. Pain and Gain Fitness is something that I started to really, really share with everybody. Doesn't matter if you're a kid, doesn't matter if you're 80 years old, 60 years old. Everybody that I've met in life has gone through something. But you can use everything that you go through in order to benefit yourself. And the thing is about life is tough. You're gonna go through things. There's no doubt about it. You're gonna go through things, but how do you react when you go through those things? You know what I mean? Do you stop or do you keep going? I wanna be the face. I wanna be the brand. So when everybody sees me, they understand that you can definitely overcome anything. What I went through was horrible. There's no other way to cut it. But by the grace of God, that's the reason why I'm here today. And that's why I'm starting Pain and Gain Fitness. And I encourage you guys to join the movement. I encourage you to try Boneafide products. You will not be disappointed.